Welcome back to another iRacing rain tutorial. Today we're going to be doing the Dallara P2 at Portimão. So for setup wise, I'm just running the baseline wet for these tutorials. It's just easier this way for you guys to recreate this. So you're running baseline with 35 liters in the fuel tank and a brake bias of 49.0. This is just to make it a bit lighter because you'll never really be running at 75 liters in, I guess, week 13. So when I first exit the pit lane, my goal is to just do a cider lap. Before this, I did 2 or 3 laps just to get a feel for the car and at this track. But then after that, I just started to record this. So here, these first few laps is just finding the grip, just driving every single line I think possible. Because half of driving in the rain is just exploration, knowing where there's the grip. Because if you just drive the same line over and over and over again, you're gonna be going the same pace. But if you try different things, you may find, oh hey, there's a bit of grip on the outside of this corner. There's some grip on the racing line. So this is kind of like what I'm doing right here. So basically, what I found around Portimão, it's like a general thing, is that you can drive on some dry lines, but with stuff like under braking, you can typically brake on the dry line. But for corners, you still want to go around the outside, just to the normal wet line, just to find the grip. There is a decent amount of, I guess, standing water around the circuit because the settings I've used the standard week 13 settings. So practically on this outlap is just more getting the tires up in temperature and just kind of exploring the track. So basically here, as we saw in the last video at Spa and the Super Formula lights, I'm majority taking the outsides of almost every single corner. Traditionally in the rain, that is the quicker way of taking the corner, but we'll see here, even if just drifting wide in the last corner, just getting away from the rubber just produces so much more grip. And as well with this Dallara P2 compared to the Super Formula lights, sorry, is that there is a bit of aero once you get to the high speeds. So going into T1, I'm braking just like 120-ish, 115, shifting all the way down to first. Here, turning in a bit late, get the left tires on the like wet patch, and then just kind of taking like half racing, half not racing line here. Here I take I guess the standard dry line. I just found in my driving that I had the most grip. Here it's kind of like up in between, so I just brake up the dry line. I get pretty good braking performance, I should say. I'm able to brake up to like 80% pressure and kind of hold that pressure without locking up. Yeah, here I tend to just hug the outside here, get the left tires on the dry patch. And then here I kind of had a small lockup when I first hit the pressures. It's so easy to do in the rain, where you just apply a tiny bit too much pressure and then you're just going straight. But that's why you work up in the rain. You don't over push the rain. You just every single lap your goal is to get faster and faster and faster as your confidence go up without obviously going off the track. Here on the inside, it's very easy to touch the white line or the curb, which just makes you go wide. But like here, I'm still exploring the track and just seeing where I think there's grip. And here you can also brake on the dry line. I feel it's very grippy. You just gotta be careful because in this car, it tends to like the one wheel peel. That's where basically you go on throttle and the diff opens one wheel, but the other wheel's not spinning. So that will just lose a lot of track. So if you're having a bit of issues around here, you just want to wait a bit longer to get on full throttle or at throttle at all. As you see here, I try to go a bit more inside. It's just I get so much understeer. But yeah, I'll let you guys just get a clean lap on board, and then I'll come back for commentary on the next lap. Enjoy. Okay, going into this final lap, I just got the reading of what happened last lap. In my mind, I was like, okay, what can I do here to go even faster than last lap? So on the T1, I noticed I could apply a bit more brake pressure and brake it just a tiny bit later and carry a bit more speed in, be a bit more aggressive on throttle. And here I thought, okay, I can carry a bit more speed on throttle here and just take a bit more outside. I brake on the dry line, kind of drift about to the middle of the circuit, cut back over. And then here I'm just basically using the dry line, maybe a bit wider than the dry line. Down the straights, I'm trying to look for dry patches to kind of drive in, but it's kind of the same everywhere on the circuit. But here, braking around 100, shifting down to first gear, rotating the car very early in brakes and get on power very early. Since this car is very low RPMs in first gear, and you don't really have much to drive out of the corners, so you really need to get on power early. So here, taking a bit like middle of the circuit, then I cut back over to the middle of the circuit again, then I cut out wide, then cut across the dry line. It's super easy to get the one wheel peel, as you can see the tire marks from the lap before where I just had one wheel spinning. Here you want to go around the outside, just try and carry as much minimum speed as possible. You see my throttle inputs there, which is I wasn't really confident on the throttle. But here going, typically it was very confusing for me at first because typically you want to go all the way on the outside. But around here, the middle of the track seems to be pretty much where the grip is. So you're just constantly being around the middle of the circuit, braking on the dry line and kind of drifting out to the fully wide mark. My goal here is to rotate the car as soon as possible and get on power as soon as possible. Because typically where you gain the most in these conditions is your exits. So here I'm just very, very wide. Just able to get full throttle very early and just carry a lot of speed. But yeah, that was a hot lap around Portimão. It was a 148.4. I'm pretty sure if you sit here and do lap by lap by lap, you can improve seconds at least. But this gives you a general idea of what lines are at Portimão. As you see, my wheel freak out, I guess. But yeah, I'm using the conditions. These conditions is basically I just press test drive after going into the week 13 for Portimão. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.